Welcome back, note takers. This is Noah Aaron with the Honor Roll Note podcast.
This is Aiden, and I do not have a documentary about myself on Netflix right now.
Well, it seems like nowadays, if you want a documentary on Netflix, you either got to be like a cult leader, or you got to smoke some crack, or you got to do something crazy.
I don't
Uh,
know. Maybe been on a reality show 20 years ago. But unfortunately, I was in the third grade 20 years ago.
well, hey, you could have been on Kid Nation. That's on you.
That's
Um,
that's true. That's true. I did not have an agent to get
you
me on Kid Nation. I probably would have gotten ejected from Kid Nation knowing myself at 8. I don't know.
not saying because you know what? I wouldn't have been drinking the bleach. I would have been throwing it because real bad
Oh
kids.
my god. I'm just saying, I had to clean up at home, and they told me to clean up, and I'm in the what were the little clicks called in that game where you do the most work? I wasn't doing that.
Oh yeah. So would you have crashed out if somebody started singing the cleanup song? Clean up, everybody clean up.
I make a remark about somebody being off key, maybe.
Oh, wow.
Knowing the damn well I don't know no keys to no music.
And I know that bitchy producer that's in all of those exposés, she'd be taking notes.
Oh, she would not have liked me in my mouth. But
What?
speaking of somebody producers loved, I'm sure, Lamar Odom.
Yes, Lamar Odom. So today we are going to be talking about Netflix's latest kind of big documentary. They like to drop a documentary, a docuseries, and this one I'm glad they strayed from their usual 3 episode format. We got one episode,
Right?
like an hour and a half ish, um, and it was called "The Death and Life of Lamar Odom," which I thought was a great title for a documentary, especially considering the content. Because I mean, we
Right?
cover to an extent, we cover his whole life, but most of it is about what went down at the Love Ranch.
Right? Where he was dead for a few minutes, but
Yeah.
I know some people were reacting. I was trying to gauge a sense of, the
Mhm.
public sentiment of the documentary as we do.
Yeah.
And some people were like, "I didn't know Lamar Odom died," thinking that it was actually like a postmortem documentary, but no, just a shocking title. And I
Yeah.
will add, this is part of their Untold series, which is like a new documentary series
Mhm.
they're doing specifically about sports stories, which this was not really about Lamar Odom's basketball career. We do get a touch of it. I did
Right.
not I guess I just knowing when Lamar was famous, I guess I didn't contextualize that he played with Kobe and Shaq. Well, I mean, he was traded for Shaq, so he played with Kobe, but
Yeah.
I don't know. In my mind, Lamar didn't get drafted in '99. Like I knew who he was in like 2011. But
Right.
that
Well,
man old.
yeah. I mean, I'm just I mean, it's always very clear that I am not a sports person. I literally don't follow, like, really any sports for the most part, and I'm just not that interested in it. So, yeah, I only know who athletes are if they get involved in reality TV or scandal, and Lamar's been involved in both. So, I know who he was
Yeah.
because of reality TV and scandal.
Or if they start doing an aggressive amount of reality shows after their career ends,
Yeah.
which Lamar has also done.
Yeah, or if you're Tom Brady and you start doing, like, Pizza King or not Pizza King, Pizza Hut ads.
Well, I feel like like the mega stars and celebrities. Like,
I
I mean,
guess, yeah.
do you know who Steph Curry is?
No.
I guess not. I guess not.
I know who Derek Jeter is.
Well, you should. The Yankees are
That's
the only
Mariah
baseball
Carey's
team
ass.
that
That's
matter.
Mariah Carey's ass.
Ooh, the Yankees are the only baseball team that matter anyway.
Oh, well, and a certain note taker is gonna be excited to hear that. Uh,
Ooh.
but but yeah, let's talk about this documentary because it was honestly, in my opinion, it was really good. Like, I didn't really
Yeah.
know what to expect going into it. I had seen a lot of the chitter chatter and the hype about it, but I really didn't know what to expect. I feel like with these Netflix documentaries and docuseries, they're a little hit or miss. There's been some that I've really enjoyed. There have been some that I haven't liked very much, but this one was pretty good.
Netflix definitely needs to tailor it down to like the 72 or so minute format that they explored with this documentary because it shines. You get the interviews, you get the cohesive story, but they're not exactly trying to drag anything out.
Yeah,
Which Top Model, I think, did it a little better than most of them, but
yeah.
I don't know. This was probably one of the more well done ones, especially
Mhm.
because it's exploring new stuff. But I don't think either of us were exactly experts on Lamar Odom aside from
Yeah.
the marriage to Chloe. And I don't know, while a lot of it was information we knew or things that were in the public eye, you do
Yeah.
get a lot of interesting context and conversations behind it. And not just Chloe, which, going into it, the commercials were all Chloe Kardashian, which
Yeah.
obviously a lot
Yeah,
of the
they
press as a result of this was focused on Chloe Kardashian, which obviously, but we also hear from his children, Lamar Jr. We hear from his daughter Destiny, his first, the mother of his children, Liza.
Mhm.
Ron Artest, Meta World Peace. So you do get a few different narratives thrown in, shaping Lamar's journey. Some of his family members, a childhood friend, his aunt, who was funny as hell. I love the aunt.
She was really funny. I loved they didn't show her that much, but when they cut to her,
Mhm.
she had a line. She had a line ready.
Well, apparently she told like, at the hospital, she told Kim and Chloe, "Y'all look better on the TV." So, she's not known to hold her tongue.
Oh, geez. To say that, especially under the circumstances, is kinda crazy.
Right? But, I mean,
Well,
maybe that's where Lamar gets his sharp tongue from.
right, well, and the documentary kind of features her early on as we kind of dive into Lamar's childhood, what he kind of went through as a kid, his journey to the NBA. Um And I didn't realize really, like, how sad his background was with his parents, losing both of his parents young.
Mhm,
I mean, his dad was, like, I guess, not involved. His mom, he lost her at a young age due to an illness. He ended up being kind of raised by his extended family as a result.
mhm.
And, yeah, I did not realize that there was so much tragedy and that there was, like, generational drug use.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know about the generational drug use, but I definitely knew that he didn't have, like, the best
Mhm.
upbringing, because I knew that was part of his whole thing with the Kardashians and their family, that he enjoyed the family unit and being involved in
Right.
that, which we kinda do see on the show and explore through that. I mean,
Yeah.
also him loving the camera, but I think the family unit that they were was, definitely enticing to him, and, that shows through his background, unfortunately.
Right, which is interesting because I feel like a lot of the men in the Kardashians' lives have similar stories. Because like, Kourtney's baby daddy, Scott Dis I can't believe I called him her baby daddy, but, whatever.
You're watching
Um,
a lot of Secret Lives of Mormon ones, so
I have been watching a lot of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, but Scott Disick, he lost his parents at a young age and didn't have a lot of family. Kanye West, lost his mother, and he kind of I mean, he had family, but he also kind of, like, really
yeah.
took to the Kardashian family and stuff like that. So that seems to be a common thing with the men in their world.
Okay. I guess Kris Jenner knows how to target them if you ask certain people.
Ooh. As
I
Wendy Williams would
mean
say, "The devil works hard, but Kris Jenner works harder." But, yeah, we kinda get into that, we get into his past, his background, we kind of see his ascension, within the NBA, and I kind of like that, they talked about how he wasn't necessarily the best, like, early on, like, there was kind of like a buildup. There was kind of they kind of talked a lot about how in situations where maybe it was kind of like his personality and his charisma,
Mhm.
like how lovable he was, that kind of helped get him into kind of a lot of things in life, whether it's
Yeah.
relationship, career, and whatnot. The public's favor towards him, which
Mhm, but you
I
also
see.
got I know, but you also got a touch of the controversy. I know they touched on some of his earlier
Mhm.
incidents in the locker room, having some drug use, so,
Yeah,
it dates back early in his career, which I did not
yeah,
know that. I thought he just kinda spiraled in the public eye, but
right.
the signs were there.
That's thing, yeah, I was, like, thinking, like, when he got involved with the Kardashians, he was, like, squeaky clean and everything like that. I thought it started at some point during his marriage with Khloe, but it was an ongoing issue.
Right, right, and I'm sure fame, the pressures of a championship winning team, all
Mhm.
that don't help.
Right, and
And
I
on top of the child,
yeah, oh, yeah, the thing, yeah, we
which was
went
another thing, I did not know that. I don't know how I did not know that.
yeah, I had no idea. I knew that he had children from a relationship before Chloe, but I had no idea that he had lost a child, especially in such a tragic way as, SID, sudden infant death syndrome. Yeah, that whole thing was, like, shocking to me when they kind of had his ex getting into it and describing kind of, like, what happened,
Yeah,
like, got his perspective, and, yeah, you could tell even just seeing him talk about it now, it's just such
yeah.
a trigger.
That's nothing you can really recover from.
Right.
I know Liza, the mother of his children, she spoke about it, like,
Yeah.
seeing their son and finding their son there and just being, like, truly traumatized, and,
Yeah.
that's a lot to come back from. And
Well,
I
and
really appreciated her inclusion because I felt like she was trying her best to be fair. Like, usually you would see somebody in the situation be very disgruntled, but I do
mhm,
think she did her best to be just kind of, like, tell the situation from her perspective, what it was like to be the mother of this children, seeing him, with this other woman in the public eye,
right.
having to deal with that, knowing him, when he was younger. And
Right,
I
what
liked her inclusion.
right, when I liked the fact that we got to hear from both her and Chloe because I think her and Chloe, their relationships with Lamar were at such different points in his life where he was like living totally different life. Like he was living a
Oh, yeah.
completely different life with this woman than he was with this woman. And so I liked that we got both of their perspectives and got to hear from both of them because I feel like they were both able to really like go in deep and give us like the full analysis of like what his life was at these very different points. Um and I think that, I think that there was a little bit like you said, I think you could tell that, like, there was a little bit of, like, towards each other.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
no, it was
but
definitely
but I felt like
especially in the
overall
beginning. I was
yeah,
like, "Is this a hit piece on Chloe?"
right, one thing but I feel like overall they kept it pretty cute for the most part,
Yeah,
pretty cute,
you know,
pretty respectful.
especially for the kids. I feel like Liza probably does it for the kids. Like, I feel like
Right.
if there are no kids, she might light his ass up. And speaking of
Right.
them, Lamar Jr. and Destiny both do appear, which
Yeah.
every time
Which
the daughter spoke, I felt so bad. Like, she was
yeah.
very, like, earnest in how she showed up and, like, how her dad wasn't there. They talked about this one experience when LA, the Lakers won the championship and they wanted to go to parade with their dad. And, they're
Mhm.
at the house knocking on the door and no answer, no answer. And eventually a friend calls their mom, like, oh, Lamar went out last night. He doesn't want to see the kids like this. When
Yeah.
they tune in on the TV and there's Lamar, talking about
Yeah.
it's the best day of his life, which is wild.
Yeah. No, it's I think, yeah, their parts are probably ones that made me the saddest is just hearing from his kids. Um, I mean, clearly they've, like, went through various traumatic events due to all of
Yeah.
this, and
And he's still paying child support.
yeah, and it's
And them kids
just
look our age. Them kids look our age. Well, not our age, but
right?
maybe like 22.
Right, a little bit younger, but it's yeah, it's I mean, it's just sad to see all the trauma they've kind of endured and the fact that it's been so public, because of, who their father is and,
Yeah.
also like not
Who
just
he
her
married.
their father's fame, but also the additional fame added in with like the Kardashian brand and everything like that. It's really, it's sad. It made me really sad for them.
Right now, I wonder how they feel about the Kardashians.
I mean, I'm sure it's probably very complicated feelings. I mean, I feel like to me, I could see Chloe being like a really good, like, bonus mom or stepmom or whatever. Like, I could see
But
Chloe,
was
like
she? We
I
would have
don't know.
saw that on the show.
One thing
Maybe they didn't want them on the show, but
that thing, yeah, from what I remember, because I watched those earlier seasons of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and I did watch Chloe and Lamar, um, and I don't know if I ever remember his kids actually being on the show, which
yeah.
I could
I feel
definitely
like not knowing that lady, but from what I saw here, I feel like she wouldn't have played that.
right, no, I it would make sense to me for the kids not to really for that really to be a desire to have the kids on the show, but I don't know, just, like, what we know of Chloe and, like, how we know, like,
Yeah.
her with, like, her family like, other children in her family, like, with especially with Rob's daughter, Dream, um, I feel like I could see her being a pretty good, stepmom,
Maybe
but,
now. She was
yeah,
pretty young. I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying she was bad, but they would have
right,
spoken to that, I feel. Or the
right.
energy wouldn't have felt as awkward.
Well, I mean, even back then when she was married to Lamar, she was damn near raising Rob even though he was a grown man, her brother.
Well, Reddit commenters suspect that Rob was doing the drugs with Lamar, but that's
I
neither
mean,
here nor there.
it's possible because I remember on the show, Chloe and Lamar, I remember like, that was like, Rob was very clearly going through his depressive episodes and stuff at that time on like, when they were making that show, he was living with Chloe and Lamar, and him
Mhm.
and Lamar had, like, a very, very close,
They
like,
were
relationship
close.
and bond,
I
yeah,
remember that.
I mean, Chloe even mentioned in this, like, how basically, the reason why she met Lamar is because she did this gig involving, like, the NBA, despite, like, knowing nothing about it, and, like, she basically said yes because her little brother Rob was a fan, and she wanted to do it for him.
I love how she just said, "My little brother," like, we don't know who Rob Kardashian is.
Right, like, we know exactly who Rob Kardashian
You got the one brother, Chloe. He
right,
was on TV with you.
right, well, maybe Rob is like, "Don't mention my fucking name in this shit."
You
Uh,
know Rob liked to be low key, but
he
we know
does
who
like
she
to be
talk
low-key,
about.
except for when he's posting revenge porn. Um,
Nah, that was like 10 years ago.
well, Imma keep bringing it up.
And so will
Uh,
Angela White. So will Angela White.
oh, shit, well, yeah, what else is she gonna bring up? Jesus. Yes.
Embezzlement.
And Basil. And Basil, now I done heard it all. Uh, but, And I loved when she kinda talked about, like, how when she met Lamar, she asked him, like, what she said he was carrying around a plastic bag, and she's like, "What's in the bag?" And he said, "Candy." And she was like, "Oh, what the fuck is he talking about?" And then she, like, looked in there and realized it really was, like, he was carrying around candy.
I thought it was gonna be a bunch of pills and shit when you said that.
Yeah, like,
Like,
drugs.
she opened it, went all up in there. I don't
But
know, I was expecting it to be a bunch of pills found on the floor. She was like, "No, it was really candy."
one and
Is are
Chloe,
you I'm, like, upset she didn't say what candy, like, was it Sour Patch watermelon, some Skittles, Twix?
I don't know, I could see Lamar having a good mixture of candy, to be honest.
Like, I could see that, some good candy.
Yeah, but yeah, no, and the thing is Chloe is the type of person that would just, like, go digging in someone's bag and not give a fuck.
I mean, we saw what she did on that radio show. Had Michael Yo pissed.
Yeah. You know, her and her alter ego, Chloe Money.
Not Chloe Money.
Um, but yeah, I mean, throughout this whole documentary, I feel like Chloe was an interesting voice in this. I feel like ultimately she probably talked the most. I feel like she almost talked more than Lamar did in this.
Right?
Like,
It was definitely getting up there.
yeah, we heard a lot from Chloe, which I mean makes sense because she was a big part of it. But there was
Yeah.
a lot that I didn't really like. I knew about like obviously the drugs and the cheating and everything, but there was a lot of the details I didn't know. Like you and I were talking before recording about how crazy it was that she had, you know, this girl that he was messing around with, calling her, talking about I'm here with Lamar. I've been sleeping with your husband, and he won't stop asking for money and drugs, and I'm just kind of over it. You need to come pick him up.
She called Chris too. She called Chris first, which
Like Chris
upset me.
Jenner.
She was like, "You know who's gonna solve this mess, bitch?" Chris Jenner. She wasn't wrong. She wasn't wrong.
I wanna know, like, you're, like, the side piece getting with this rich athlete behind his wife's back and everything, and he is just too much trouble that it's not even worth trying to extort him for money. You just want his wife to come get him. You're sick of it.
Right. Well, I think at that point, you know that like Chris Jenner probably has a handle. This might not make TMZ if you call Chris right now. And you'll
Right.
probably get paid, maybe not your full rate, but you'll get something.
Full rate.
Well, no.
Crazy. Crazy, 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 but, well, I know those girls at the Love Ranch got played their full rate. Um
Yeah, they had the receipt, the 75,000 up front.
Crazy. That's insane. But I also didn't know about like things like because Chloe talked about like how kind of dedicated she was trying to keep this as covered up as she could. She was talking about following him around, like literally going into hotel rooms, following his drug bender in those hotel rooms and cleaning them up so that the housekeepers wouldn't be able to go in there and take pictures
Yeah,
and sell stories to TMZ,
which I'm sure was stressful as hell. And I'm
right?
sure Chris was telling her to do that.
Like, well, the thing is, though, is Chloe just always has seemed like almost like pretty much to her own detriment. She's always seemed like such a down ass bitch. Like she really won't do anything for her man.
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, just like that family you're in. I'm sure growing up with, Chris and
Mhm.
what's in the I'm forgetting what their daddy name is now.
Caitlyn Jenner,
Caitlyn. Courtney and Kim, that's a household. That's a household.
right?
Especially Courtney, especially Courtney.
When I feel like, I mean, I'm not trying to psychoanalyze these people, but that definitely seems like a family where they're taught to be very man centric, very male centric.
Well, yeah.
I mean, we
And then
see how
Chloe proceeded to do all that with Tristan, so
yeah. Well, that's the thing is it seems like a pattern in her relationships that she's kinda just do her best to keep it going, keep it moving, keep it cute. Um, but yeah, no, it was crazy because I always knew that she was down, but I didn't realize she was that down, that it's like, "Damn, you are
mhm.
really out here cleaning up his drug pens and shit."
Well, she wasn't down enough to have the baby with him, so she had enough sense for that.
Right,
If
right.
you wanna call it sense. I don't know what we wanna call that, but
I mean, she went as far as I remember at the time to, like, pretend to have fertility issues
right?
just so she didn't have to have a baby with that man.
'Cause I definitely remember that was, like, the plot line of, like, the 2010 11s with the Kardashians. It was seasons of
Yeah,
Khloe trying to have a baby.
yeah, and it turns out the entire time she's just intentionally not having a baby with this man. But I mean, I'm glad
Uh,
she had the good sense. I mean,
yeah.
she'll have a baby with a cheater, but she ain't gonna have a baby with no crackhead. No.
Well, even after she broke up with said cheater.
Right. Well, Chloe Money is not gonna have 2 baby daddies, I guess.
I mean, I don't think Kris Jenner allows that. I think
I mean, Courtney, she has 2 now.
she has a kid with Travis?
Yeah, she has a kid with Travis.
Since when?
I don't This was a few years ago.
Oh, I wasn't I just I mentioned I didn't care for Courtney, so Really?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, no, she
is
done grow
Mason not our age now? She having babies?
Mason is not Mason was born in, like, 2011, girl.
I know, I'm being dramatic, but Mason in college now, she doing okay, whatever. Not my business, not my business.
I don't think Mason's going to college, but
He can. He gives me USC,
he
NYU,
he's too busy being mad
UCLA.
spilling tea on live,
No, he doesn't do that anymore. He doesn't do that
talking shit
anymore.
to Jeffree Star. But honestly, Jeffree Star does deserve to get whacked every now and again, so I support that. But,
You know what?
but, um, we also had, like, another, like, very central figure in this, was our owner of the Love Ranch, which he appeared quite a bit, as far as just footage of him and whatnot and his
Right?
shenanigans.
The whole love rant sequence. First
Yeah.
off, it kind of threw me off because we go into like this whole bit about the love rant, and I'm like, did I click off to a different show? What's going on here?
Yeah, now we're talking
And
about
then we
bra.
see a man that looks like Whitney's daddy from Salt Lake City Housewives. And he's just talking about working there and how how long he drove to get there and, where the ranch used to be because it's not really around anymore. And I'm just like, what's going on here? But he was a good storyteller. I was kind of captivated by, him recapping the landmarks, him recapping the night with Lamar Foley, because they
I
had heard stories of like, oh, Lamar's hitting the girls up on Instagram, but they were like, nobody
no,
that famous or notable will come here. They don't. They have other
they
means to do it.
they
And then
were
they
sh
got a call from a hotel, and they go
yeah.
to the hotel in Vegas, all the way from like this rural part of
They
Nevada, and they're like, "Oh shit, it is Lamar."
they were shady as hell because like, during that soundbite where they said, no celebrity above the D list would show up here normally, and they showed Ron Jeremy.
Well. If you're doing surreal life fame games, I know.
Right. Well, I especially cackled when he showed up where the Love Shack was, and that property was cleared out, honey. Like, that place was gone. They
They said,
they they said, "We getting rid of the evidence. We're wiping this off the face of the earth. We almost killed Lamar Odom."
all them girls got new names.
Right? Everyone's in witness protection. Oh my god. Yeah, when they were explaining just, like, kind of like what happened to Lamar, or at least like what we believe to have happened. I don't know. I feel like there's probably more because I mean they talked about him allegedly doing some booger sugar before he came to the ranch, and then once he was there, he took 12 reloads, which I didn't know what a reload was, but
Me neither.
it's a male enhancement performance situation, and apparently. They were saying that like they advise on the packaging do not take more than one in a 24-hour period. And apparently Lamar took 12. So and I
I
have
know.
no idea.
According to one of the girls,
Yeah, and my thing is, like, with the like, I don't know what's in those male enhancement and performance things that would kill you, but apparently something.
maybe it's like the mix of all the things,
Yeah,
or just the pure amount.
right,
But also, it's also going off of Lamar's word where he said that he had done it before he got there, which was 2 days ago.
right, and
So,
I don't think cocaine really affects you 2 days later.
so maybe he had something with him. But yeah, no, the account specifically, not great. But there's a lot of receipts from the night. They sold the footage. He was doing sit-down interviews. They
Yeah,
sold off a picture of the receipt, the $75,000 receipt.
the bidding war for footage of Lamar at the drug run, like, as this man is actively, like, in the hospital fighting for his life, and there's a bidding war for the footage, I'm like, "Sir,
But the Today Show winning it? The Today Show winning it? I
that"
thought they were gonna be like TMZ won, the National Enquirer won, so with Wendy Williams won. No, the Today Show.
now you know Wendy Williams wouldn't pay for footage.
That's true.
She'd just talk
But I
about
feel
it.
like if Lamar had his own choice, he might have done Wendy. He seems messy enough.
He might have. But yeah, no, the moment where they showed him on the Today, because one of his stipulations is he wanted to come on the Today Show and promote his book, The Art of the Pimp. Uh, and I was like, that's insanity.
That was not classy for the news in 2006.
Right.
2026, sure. 2006, no.
Yeah. Well,
Not not okay.
in this fucking in 2026, if this happened today, Lamar first of all, Lamar would getting a Blue Chew, endorsement deal once he recovered. Um, but, like,
But
I don't know,
would he
just
post the asset? Would he post the asset?
he
Lamar
might
gives me he wouldn't post the asset. I'm just saying.
well,
Lamar ain't following the brief. I'm following are posting the asset.
right, but y'all gonna have to sue him. Y'all have to sue him. Uh, but, yeah, no, just insane. I kinda wanna talk to this Love Ranch man. He seems like a character. I kinda wanna pick his brain.
Right, what is he up to now?
Right. Probably nothing good, no good.
Living offshore, probably.
Probably
Or maybe at
him and
Mar-a-Lago.
he's probably, in Mexico with what's his name, the Girls Gone Wild guy,
Joe Francis.
Joe Francis, yeah. They're probably over there doing crazy shit. Um, but yeah, no, just insanity. And then back to Chloe, we kind of, we see her after Lamar is, rushed to the hospital. We saw this play out in real life and everything with the news about her kind of like running to be at his side, how she spent months with him in the hospital. She was with him through his recovery. We did get some more information about, because I knew at the time that, like, oh, she is still technically legally his wife, so she's making medical decisions. I did not know that, like, before she got there, Lamar's father was there first, and she alleges that he was like, "Oh, take him off life support, don't give him anything, I don't give it," like, whatever, like, was ready to let him just die, I guess.
Mhm.
And Chloe basically bribed him with a pair of Nikes, some money, and a hotel room to just kinda go away.
$100, mind you.
Right. Insane. $100, a pair of Nikes, and 1 night in a hotel.
Not even a hot meal? Well, I guess he could use the $100 to get a hot meal, but
You know he didn't use it to get a hot meal. He used it to
I
get hot
I I
something.
I think he got at least a meal. I think he got a McChicken at least.
Do you consider crack cocaine a meal?
I don't, am I in charge of the eat I don't I'm like,
Are you a
Robin,
are you the World Health Organization?
right? Like, I feel set up. I feel like I'm on the stand right now.
Okay, Robin Dixon. Um, but yeah, and then she kind of proceeded to be making a lot of the calls on his medical treatment. Um, and his family, when they like, his kids, his wife, not wife, but his kids and the mother of his children, his aunt, like they kind of seemed a little bit pressed and bitter about it. Like they were not happy about how that all
Mhm.
went down when it was they weren't necessarily giving super specific details, but they basically were talking about how Chloe had like security,
Yeah.
blocking things off. People had to sign NDAs to go in and see Lamar and like everything and be by his side. Which honestly, I'm kind of on Chloe's side for that because I mean, this is a man that is like on his deathbed, is constantly being taken advantage of. He's just had like this whole shenanigan he went on the Love Ranch become media fodder with receipts being shared, footage being sold, and everything like that. So I kind of get where she was coming from, being like, we need to lock this shit down, especially when she mentioned that at first, when they were just letting people come in, that apparently like drug dealers and shit were coming into the room. People were going through his stuff, trying to take things. So
They're
I
talking
mean,
about he owe me money.
right. I think I kind of understand her locking things down. And I mean, nobody from his family straight up accused her of not letting them see him. They basically just had to go through a security detail to do it.
Yeah, and get NDAs. But Liza did say that, like, I think her and her kids were probably allowed not to sign the NDAs. The
Yeah,
rest
no,
of the family members were blocked off, and a
yeah,
whole bunch of drama started.
she said that when the whole family went up there and everything to that floor, that there was security there, and they were like, she said Chris Jenner security. Uh, But,
Well,
and she said they brought out NDAs, and then they specifically pointed at her and were like, "Oh, you don't have to sign one," and she said, "I know that."
I know that's right. I hope they didn't make the kids sign one. Can you imagine make, like, a 14-year-old sign an NDA?
Is that legal? Can a minor sign an NDA?
I don't think so. Are their parents probably have to co-sign it or sign on their behalf?
right? Well, because
But
I
I'm
know
sure
it's
minors, like, in Hollywood, like, they can't leak the project, so I'm sure they have to, but
yeah,
I'm sure they got an agent or they parent around.
somebody. But yeah, so I get where Chloe is coming from with kinda locking things down, and I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like she did have good intentions and she was looking at it for his best interests.
No, I agree, even though I don't think maybe Chloe probably didn't navigate this the best in terms of relationship
Right,
with his family and that
right,
side of the family. In terms of him and caring for him,
yeah,
Chloe did that, and
yeah,
definitely I do feel bad because Lamar doesn't seem to give a fuck. He's going on interviews and whatnot saying, "Chloe didn't save my life," and implying what she said about his dad was false, so
right.
it's a
Yeah,
lie. Chloe's rightfully pissed.
right, and I will say, that moment where Chloe was talking about, she said that, because basically she was saying, she spent 4 months with him in the hospital, like, while he was recovering and everything, and I didn't and, to me, it really is so shocking to see, like, how functioning he is, like, how much he can do, everything considering where he was, like, when they showed that footage of him in the
Right?
hospital where he couldn't even blow out the candles on his birthday cake,
Right?
um,
12
like
stroke, 6 heart attacks.
right, yeah, he couldn't walk, he couldn't talk, he could barely function, everything, so it's shocking to me, like, how well he has recovered and bounced back from that, and how normally he does seem to be able to function, but, yeah, Chloe was saying that, like, after that 4 months in the hospital, that she then rented him a home, to continue his recovery in, and this I felt so bad for cackling at this part, but when Chloe said that she went over to see him and she said that once you know what crack smells like, you will never forget the smell, and I felt bad for laughing, like, this is not funny, but
I mean, there's a reason they use that clip for the promo, Noah.
uh, I know, and then I've seen all the TikToks and stuff of people, like, being like, Chloe in the documentary be like and it's just girls bringing up crack, like, over and over, all the details about crack.
Right? Which I thought she would be saying crack a lot more, but
Yeah, no, she really didn't.
right? I was like, "Okay, y'all it was funny. It was funny, but"
Yeah, but y'all doing too much. But,
right?
yeah, and then Chloe said that she, like, went in there, she immediately smelled the crack, so she knew something was going on, and she was talking about how, like, basically, she was saying Lamar was further along in his recovery than he was letting her be aware of, and that he was more capable, and that he had a phone that
Mhm.
she was unaware of, and that that's how he was getting the crack and everything, and she said she punched him in the face and
Right?
told him he has until tomorrow to get the hell out of this house,
Right,
um,
right. Chloe
which
always with the shits. Chloe always throwing hands.
right, well, honestly, justified. I will say I will say, as someone who can relate to being, like, the loved one of an addict, and, the punch in the face, he needed that.
Ooh.
He needed to get that,
Well,
especially if what she's saying is the truth, that, like,
no, she
he
was
was in
doing
her
everything.
that she was doing everything and that he was in her rental house getting like, scoring more crack, like,
Like, is this
yeah,
not supposed to be a rehabilitation period for you, sir?
that's a yeah, I think that's a shared experience amongst loved ones of addicts. At some point, there's a face punch.
You know? According to Lamar's book, Chloe also punched one of the strippers he was cheating with in the face after she tracked down the hotel with his black Amex credit card receipts.
Now see, that is not justified. Punch him in the face, don't punch the stripper. What
Right?
what does Vivica say in that movie? When your man's stepping out on you, never deal with a woman, deal with the man.
Fair, fair.
Two can play that game. That's what the movie.
Well,
But then she said, "But you know what? I don't like this hoe," and she punched her anyway. She punched Gabrielle Union anyway.
well, Gabrielle Union likes to play a villain in the movie. Deliver her from Eva, anybody? But I will say, they did a lot about Lamar's charisma and being a fun person, which
Yeah.
I believe from all the reality shows that he's done when he's not being narcissistic and a bad
Mhm.
father, which I guess he doesn't really do on the TV shows. He
Yeah.
comes across very funny, entertaining, has a lot of
Mhm.
funny quips. Like he had very
Mhm.
funny moments on Big Brother, even though he didn't know how to vote or play the game. And
Mhm.
even in this episode, there were a few lines that just made me cackle. The
Yeah.
first of which was the first hit of cocaine I took was amazing. I was with a woman. She was with her husband. And I was like, wait, what?
Ridiculous.
I said, "Wait, what?" And then when Chloe was talking about the intervention that they made her do and kinda be like, "If you don't fix it, I'll get divorced." And
Yeah.
Lamar says, "Well, get me my passport. That's gonna fucking divorce."
Right, that gagged me. I was like, "Oh, he immediately chose the crack and the passport over rehab."
It's the passport that sends me. Like, were they in a foreign country? Did he wanna go right to Mexico? Like,
I mean
would you need the
I don't
who
think
had
they
the
were,
passport to begin with? Where was it?
but also, I'm not gonna lie, I could definitely see the Kardashian family, especially Kris Jenner, I could definitely see her withholding a passport.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if the reason why he demanded I wouldn't be surprised if Kris Jenner had put his passport in a safe before and refused to give it back. I'm just saying.
I mean,
That sounds
I
like some
wouldn't put it past her. I wouldn't put it past her.
yeah.
Her
So,
Machiavellian tactics in my
yeah,
Camille
if
Grammer
I'm just saying, if I were
vocabulary.
making my escape from the Kardashian family, I would the first thing I would want is my passport.
And what's the
But
second thing?
crack. But just kidding. Just kidding. Just
Well, then.
unlike Chloe, I don't know what that smells like. Yeah, like I definitely there was a lot about him being charming. There was a lot about him liking the camera. Chloe even mentioned that she was kind of unsure about doing the spinoff with the Chloe and Lamar show, but that he really wanted to do it. And I believe that. He seems like he likes to ham it up for a
Right?
camera.
He definitely loves the camera. At the end of this own documentary, he's talking about, "I'm on Netflix now, baby. Just make me an A-lister."
That's the one thing about Lamar. He's gonna be on the camera. He might start dating Stacey Rush next season.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Lamar do not need to be on Bravo.
Giselle would have a heyday with that.
I don't think Stacey would deal with that. Lamar gives me more Atlanta.
That's that's true. Stacey was barely willing to deal with Big Boy.
And TJ, she likes him a little
Fruit,
different than Lamar, I think.
fruity.
No, Timo doesn't seem fruity. It's a little
No,
nerdy.
he doesn't. I'm just saying, one thing about Lamar though, all that crack and you never heard about him with a man.
Well, he couldn't take Dennis Rodman's bit completely. You have to let Dennis Rodman have his own thing.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
I'm
No,
just saying.
now why are we dragging tennis Rodman into
'Cause that's his bit.
it? I can't. I can't. Um, but yeah, and the thing with Lamar is, and that's like honestly, I feel like you see that a lot with addicts, like kind of like that funny, dopey, charming guy. Like I feel that's part of how they get away with it, because they're like,
Mhm.
"Oh, I'm sorry, I won't smoke any more crack," and they go and smoke more crack. I'm just saying,
That's probably verbatim what Lamar said to Chloe at one point.
I'm sorry.
I
Uh,
just I just wanna know what Kobe Bryant was thinking. Like, crack?
I love the fact that like Kobe Bryant was on scene at the hospital and Clay was consulting with him on like Lamar. I'm like,
Well,
like
I mean, Coco
I,
he's known for decision making in quick times. That's
That's
how you
true.
succeed in the
Well,
basketball
because
court.
I'm just imagining Khloe Kardashian and Kobe Bryant sitting there, like, planning out Lamar's medical treatment for
Well, I'm just saying, if I was freaking out, my husband on his deathbed and Kobe Bryant is there. Well, he's no
offering
longer with
assistance,
us, but if he was there,
right?
I would consult Kobe Bryant, you know?
Yeah, no, I get it, I get it, I get it. Well, especially because I mean, like, shit, my crackhead basketball player husband, let me get this sober basketball player to help me.
A generational talent.
Yeah. But overall, like, what would you say like, once you were done, everything was said and done, you were done with the documentary, what were your thoughts kinda walking away from it?
Wow.
Wow.
I was just like, wow. I guess
Yeah.
initially I walked away like, oh, that was good. It was entertaining.
Mhm.
I learned somewhat new things, which I expected because I didn't deeply know Lamar Odom's drama. Like, I feel like with a lot of reality television focused documentaries, a lot of the times I know like 90% of the tea. So it
Yeah.
was nice where it was a situation where I knew more like 45% of the tea. So there was some, enlightening information. I do
Yeah.
think there wasn't a situation where there were people that were getting interviewed that didn't
Mhm.
need to be interviewed or got too much time. Like we
Right.
heard from like Meta World Peaks, etc., but Only like a
Yeah.
little bit. It was primarily like Lamar, Chloe, and Liza, which it should have been.
Right, yeah, no, we didn't have $25,000 sunglasses or Danielle Staub show up here.
Oh lord, oh lord. You know they were good for something. They were good to show us,
I'm sure they would have been willing to talk about Lamar, they'd be like, "I don't know nothing about this crackhead, but I'll talk."
right?
Ugh,
Yeah, I don't know. Is there anyone else you feel like should have gotten brought up or should have spoken? I mean,
I
Rob
mean,
would have been interesting, but Rob not going on the
he
camera.
would have never, he would have never.
Rob
I
don't
mean,
even want to do his family show.
as I feel like as much as Kris Jenner got name dropped, maybe she should have been here to say her piece. She
Well,
should
I'm sure she could just have Chloe deliver her talking points.
I guess, but I don't know. I feel like I would have been interested, especially since Lamar said that like at one point he like did a line of coke and then like lifted his head and saw Kris Jenner come around the corner and see him.
Talking about Lammy.
Yeah. I would love to hear Chris describe like from her perspective that moment where she walked in on Lamar doing coke.
I feel like she would be a little melodramatic with it. She might cry, walk out the interview just to walk back in.
Well, I feel like though she can handle because I mean I've seen the footage of her kind of like from that Kanye West documentary where, like, she was kinda, like when Kanye was having, like, one of his explosions and everything, like, in his episodes, like, Chris kinda trying to, like, talk him off the ledge and everything
Mm,
and calm him down and get it's like, she seems like she's perfect for that kinda role.
that's true.
Now whether or not her intentions are good, like, that depends on who you ask. Tokyo Tony's gonna tell you they're not good.
Well, I mean, I do
What?
think Chris knows how to make a moment.
Yeah, yeah.
But also
Yeah,
with Lamar and his behavior and his antics through this, it's hard to like you could
yeah,
hate the Kardashians as much as you want. I'm not somebody who loves the Kardashians, but
yeah.
to
Oh,
paint them
yeah.
out in the bad guys as this would be a little disingenuous. Not that they're
Right.
like victims or anything, but
Right, that's the thing is there's always, like, this whole thing about the Kardashian curse, and I am never really one to defend the Kardashians because, like, why do I wanna defend these rich assholes who are doing assholey things? Um, but, like, this whole, like it's silly to me, there's this, like, whole thing about the Kardashian curse where I feel like any man that has ever been associated with any of these girls, like, the moment they're doing some fuckery, like, everyone wants to blame the
right?
Kardashians, like, when like, Kanye West going and praising Hitler and stuff, and people wanna be like, "That's Kim Kardashian's fault." It's like,
Right?
"What?"
Also, specific to some of the athletes that they've dated,
Mhm.
like, people like to be like, "Oh, Kardashian curse," but, like, none of the guys they dated were, like, stars who fell from grace. They were mostly, like, role players, like, I'm
Yeah,
not a big fan of the NBA. I don't know a lot, but I know Tristan Thompson and ooh, what's Kim's ex? Chris Humphries?
Chris
I
Humphries,
I know
yeah.
they were no star players. And, I love some data. I pulled up Tristan Thompson's stats from last season. He
Yeah,
in the 2024-2025 season, he averaged 1.7 points, 3.4 rebounds, and point zero six assists. I mean,
is
zero
that
point 0.6 assists.
is that bad?
You know, we don't know how much minutes he played, but it's not great. But he did have a 43% field goal percentage, which is respectable,
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is, I mean, at least Lamar was willing to admit that he was getting with Khloe to up his profile.
right?
These other guys like to act like they were somebody before the
Right?
Kardashians. The
Mm,
only one who can the only one who can make any kind of argument that they elevated the Kardashians is Kanye. He's the only one.
yeah. And I'll give Travis and Kylie are, like, on the same. I'll
Yeah.
give Travis that.
And I mean, I guess Ray J was bigger than them when, the tape came out, but that didn't last
I
long.
hit it, I 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 hit it first.
First.
Well, Ray J's sister will always be more famous. Brandy.
Well, that's just Brandy. That's just Brandy being iconic. But, that's our Cinderella, um,
Period.
and our final girl. Um,
Now you know I ain't watched that movie.
well, maybe you should.
Well, I didn't get the role of Carla, so I'm upset all these years later.
I don't think were you born yet? When did
Maybe.
I think that movie came out, like, '99. You were alive. Uh, barely. Uh,
Well, was there an infant in that movie? A black infant?
I don't think so. It was
Wow.
a sexy teen slasher. Um,
Well, they should have given Sarah Michelle Gellar a black child. I don't know.
okay. That's yeah, I'm saying I'm just gonna say, "Okay."
What?
Uh, I wanna be supportive.
And you know what? I wanna run into Lamar's on the street. I would love to have a conversation with her. Not
I
even
know.
about the documentary. I just wanna meet her,
Oh, yeah, no, she seems like the type of lady that would just talk to anybody she meets
right? She might
and
spill a
have a
little
nice
too much
con
tea or something or drag Kris Jenner, but I might just cackle.
right, I could see her dragging Kris Jenner, and the thing is with Kris Jenner is, as much as I respect her as a businesswoman, she needs to get dragged every now and again.
And I would ask that lovely woman if she did tell Kim and Khloe that they look better on the TV.
Right, I would definitely be giving Phaedra, like, "What made you say that?" And I feel like she'd probably just tell me, like, she's like, "Well, it's what I felt." And
I'm
I mean,
sure.
I'd
She
I'd
seems like
have
that type
I'd have
of New York kinda
that.
woman.
I can't just disregard her feelings.
Well,
Uh,
no, you can't.
I don't think so. I mean, I'd have to be like, "Okay." But yeah,
W
overall, great documentary, Netflix, y'all did your big one with this. Um, and I think we did our big one with this podcast episode, but
Right? Can't
I
say I'll watch another Untold story. Don't really not really intrigued by the rest of them. They don't really
right,
have the reality TV tie, but whoever
no,
produced these ones,
produce the
Netflix
others.
keep hiring them, and have them do
Exactly.
the reality TV ones too,
Yep, and if you find one that we may be relevant for, call us to talk about it,
right? I don't know what would be the best fit for, but I'll fly out to LA.
right?
But ideally, you could have the studio set in New York, but
I don't think they're gonna do that.
well, I think they're building a studio thing here, or maybe it's in
Oh,
Jersey.
okay.
It might be in Jersey.
Okay,
Netflix.
bicoastal, unlike Mia Fort. But, Aiden, do you have any final words before I sign us the fuck off?
No, just pray for Lamar, I guess.
Okay, viral tweet. Um, but
You know,
yes,
I wish the best for his children. They
right, they seem like really
yeah,
lovely kids. Like that and that's a yeah, like, seeing them, I was like, "Damn, they seem like good kids," and I feel like they seem like 'cause we talked about, like, generational drug use and addiction issues and stuff. Hope that thing they seem like they seem like they have a really lovely mother with a good head on her shoulders. They seem like they're good kids with good heads on their shoulders. So, yeah,
yeah,
I
for
I
sure.
wish them the best. But yeah, and wish us the best and pray for us on this podcast. You you can bless us if you go follow us on our social media. We are at On a Real Note Pod. We are on TikTok. We're on Instagram. We're on Threads. We're on Blue Sky. We're on X. We're on YouTube. You may be watching this on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, I
Period.
appreciate it.
Hit the
Uh,
subscribe button.
yeah, hit that subscribe button. What do those really annoying people on YouTube say? What do they say? Hit that. What I think they say blow up that button or something.
I don't know. It sounded like YouTube from 8 years
Smash
ago,
that button. That's
girl.
what they say, "Smash that button."
I don't
That's
think they've said that in 10 years.
oh, well,
Old ass.
you know what? And I haven't smoked crack in 10 years since the last time I was with Lamar. I'm just
Were
kidding.
you ever in the same state as that? Well, he played in California, so
Yeah,
yes,
we've been
but
in the same state. Whether or not we're in the same zip code, that's the real story. Uh, but y'all have a lovely rest of your day. I hope none of you know what crack smells like. And, enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you.